Laker fans, what's going on? Good to see everyone. Not the result we were looking for the other night against Cleveland. Obviously, a tough loss. It wasn't really competitive for most of the game. Listen, the Lakers still 3-2. The Lakers probably would have taken that, and most Laker fans would have if you would have said after 5 games it'd be 3-2. Last 2 games, obviously, got to get back on track here against Toronto. Not the way they wanted to do it. Tough loss against Phoenix, and they just didn't really seem to show up to play against Cleveland. But we'll get into that a little bit later. I'm talking about the supporting cast, how they have to deliver. I'm talking about a Bleacher Report article I thought was kind of interesting, and a Raptors preview. That's who the Lakers will be playing in their next game. Look at the supporting cast. I think the disappointing thing of last night was it was a lot of what we saw last year, where the bench was not contributing. The supporting cast really wasn't contributing. Rui, 4 for 6 for 8 points. D'Lo, 2 for 7 for 10 points. Reeves, 2 for 6 for 7 points. Those 3 guys can't combine for 25 points if the Lakers have a realistic shot to win every night. It's not going to happen. Dalton Connect had a tremendous night, 18 points. He just keeps his ceiling keeps going up and up. I'm just ecstatic watching Dalton Connect play. He's excellent. The rest of the bench, 19. It can't happen. You can't leave LeBron and Anthony Davis alone on an island. And I don't know why the consistency isn't there, because you see it sometimes where the supporting cast has the talent. There's a lot of talent on the supporting cast. It's not like one of these teams where they just don't have guys. The Lakers have guys. D'Angelo Russell can drop 30 on any given night. Austin Reeves had 26 the other night and was huge. He kind of disappeared. Rui Hachimura's had a nice start to the season. The bench has been struggling so far outside of Connect, so I hope that kind of changes. But as of right now, this is the roster the Lakers have. Jared Vanderbilt's coming back. Christian Coloco, that's going to be exciting to watch at the center spot. But I don't think that Jackson Hayes has really been the problem off the bench. Jackson Hayes has been nice, been pretty serviceable. So I wonder how much time Christian Coloco is going to get. I think he will get mixed in the lineup because he does have a lot of talent. But they got to get more from these guards. I mean, Gabe Vincent, Max Christie, D'Lo and Reeves, I don't expect to keep having nights like that. Obviously, Reeves was great the other night. D'Lo kind of has a thing of starting season slow. It's kind of what he does. I expect D'Lo to get it going, but I don't know if it's the forcing too many threes or what's going on. It wasn't there. Obviously, the Cavs are a very good team. My problem was defensively, they were too efficient. I mean, Evan Mobley shot 12 of 16 for 25 points. Jared Allen, 9 of 12 for 20 points. Donovan Mitchell, 10 for 20, 24 points. I mean, all those guys shooting 50% or above. That can't happen with their 3 stars. Even, Karis LeVert had 16. Ty Jerome had 14 points. They combined for 30 off the bench. It's never really a good sign when guys like Ty Jerome are having 14 points from you off the bench in 16 minutes played. That's not necessarily a winning formula. Listen, Lakers got to flush it. Moving on to Toronto, the Lakers have had a murderer's row kind of to start the season. Obviously, Suns twice, Minnesota, Sacramento, and the Cavs, all very good teams. Lakers are still 3-2. So looking at the bright side of that, but the schedule does open up. Toronto, Detroit, it gets a little bit easier, but the Lakers have to take advantage of it. The NBA is, as we all know, that kind of league where anyone can beat anyone any given night. Guys just can have career games, and it seems like the Lakers last year were kind of the epitome of that. They would beat really good teams. They lose to teams. You're like, why are they losing to? I think the team is a lot better than last year, and I do think there is a lot of reason for optimism and just flush the game. And I think the Lakers will get back on track with a win against Toronto. I'll get into that in a minute. Bleacher Report had an interesting thing about trades. They did biggest regretful trade of every team recently. And the trade with the Lakers, I think everyone knows where I'm going with this. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma to the Washington Wizards, Isaiah Jackson, the Indiana Pacers, and Russell Westbrook and 3 second-round picks to the Lakers. That deal did not work out. We all know that Russ was an absolute abomination in a Laker uniform. I mean, he was dreadful. It never really made sense. It never made sense why you would get a guy who can't shoot, knowing that LeBron, the teams that he's had the most success with, he's had shooters all around him. And getting a guy who needs the ball in his hand, is not a great shooter, taking away touches from LeBron, it never worked. It's tough watching Kyle Kuzma play another uniform. I love Kyle Kuzma. I know a lot of the fan base did. Was really a fan favorite. Kuzma is exactly what the Lakers need right now. A consistent scoring threat that's averaging in the high teens every night and is an excellent wing defender, really improved in that regard, was great on that championship team. Montrezl Harrell made sense why they kind of blew him out of town because Vogel didn't let him play in that series against the Suns. But Montrezl Harrell did have nice moments. And KCP, I mean, he's come back to haunt the Lakers 2 years ago with the Nuggets. He's in Orlando now. It just sucks that you gave away two really good bench pieces. Kyle Kuzma would probably be starting. He'd probably be challenging Rui for that spot. KCP, hell, might even be starting. It sucks looking back at that. You know, every team has trades they regret, and every team had one on it. I encourage you guys to go check it out. It was an interesting article, but that's one that you look back and you go, man. I think some of the lack of depth sometimes it gets frustrating when you see the bench not being able to contribute, and guys like that who are kind of stars for other teams that we had right here in LA. Some news today as well. Jalen Hood-Schifino, option not picked up, third-year option. Disappointing. Jalen Hood-Schifino never really got going, never cracked the rotation, didn't seem to have it when he checked in at games at the end. And he just, I hope we have him for the rest of the year. I hope he becomes a role player and kind of proves people wrong. The Lakers clearly don't see it. They don't see it because they would have picked up that option had they. It's interesting that JJ Redick this early in is doing that. He probably didn't see it either. Obviously, Ham didn't because he didn't play him. I think what sucks about it is that you saw guys like Cam Whitmore, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Brandon Podziemski get taken after him. All guys that are contributing, especially Jaquez. Jaquez is great, and Jaquez has been great for the Heat. Podziemski's a great defender, and Whitmore's a really good player too. Hey, you don't hit on all draft picks. You just can't. In the NBA, especially when you're picking later in the first round. But I never really got it with him. He had all the measurables, all the tools, and just never really seemed to put it together. But maybe he can. And hey, the Lakers could sign him back, but he's playing in the G League now, designated for assignment. So getting to the Raptors, Toronto. This is a team the Lakers should beat. Reiterate, should beat. That doesn't necessarily always happen for the Lakers. The quick lowdown: the Raptors, they're a 1-4 record. They gave up 138 points to the Hornets last game, so they don't play a lot of defense. Scotty Barnes is a really young, bright star in this league. He got hurt, though, and will miss 3 weeks due to an orbital fracture. He was averaging a little over 19 points a game, almost 8 rebounds per game, and 6 assists per game. So he's had some good games against the Lakers. Scotty Barnes is a really good player. It sucks for them that he's going to be out for 3 weeks because he's fun to watch. But this is a team that the Lakers need to take seriously. Obviously they're on the road in Toronto, long flight, all that stuff. They got a lot of young talent on this Raptors team. If they could get a star, if they could get a guy that's a go-to bona fide star, max level player, I think they could actually be good in a couple years. Because Davion Mitchell, he used to be with the Kings. He's hurt the Lakers a couple times. RJ Barrett had 31 points the other night. He's really fun. I think the Knicks might have given up on him a little too early. He's a really good player. Grady Dick out of Kansas, really nice young player. Ochai Agbaji, also out of Kansas. Jamal Shed, he was one of the guys on that Houston team, excellent point guard who was unbelievable in the tournament. They got a lot of young talent. They just don't have the star yet. But the Lakers are favored by 8.5. The total is set at 228.5. So I do expect the Lakers to respond. I think that this is a perfect get-right game. It's the first kind of looking at the schedule and going, oh, that's a juggernaut team you're playing, as evidenced by Vegas saying the Lakers are 8.5. But we've seen this before with the Lakers. They've gotten burned on it's a road game, NBA. Anyone can win any given night. And all those guys have a lot of talent. This is not a team devoid of talent. It's just there are a lot of young, talented guys that aren't consistent always. So if they put it together on a night, they can really beat anybody. And they've also had a tough schedule. They played the Cavs, played the Sixers, outside of the Hornets. They played a pretty tough schedule easily. So I don't think they're as bad as their 1-4 record. And this team will continue to get better as the season goes along. So I'm kind of glad the Lakers are getting them early. But hey, the Lakers should win the game. We just need more out of the bench. The bench has to contribute. I love to see Dalton Knecht keep firing because he's been excellent. JJ Redick as a coach so far, I still think is getting big positive marks. He keeps taking the blame for the losses as the coach should do. I don't necessarily think the losses have been on him. I think a lot of them has been guys just not hitting shots, not creating for themselves. But I think this is a perfect get-right game for Gabe Vincent, Max Christie. I expect D'Lo and Reeves and Rui to respond. And hey, if the Lakers play their game, they're going to beat Toronto. But that's why you play the game, because you never know. But I want to appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys. It means a lot when you guys watch these videos and everything, and give your thoughts in the comments. So appreciate it. See you guys for the next one, and go Lakers.